Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Rose Minis. Today we're going to be painting Voidmaster Nitsch. Here are the paints you're going to be needing for today's tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and put the list down below in the description. So here he is after just being based with lead belcher. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and take your Macragge Blue and paint his shoes. Go ahead and be as messy with this as you want, for once you put on the terrain texture, it will not matter. Okay, so once you're done with that, we're going to be taking our Abaddon black. We're going to be painting this all over his coat and trousers. It doesn't matter if you're too messy with this, but do try to keep it neat, as black is a hard cover to paint over once it's gotten on something. So just take care, okay? Alright, so once you're done applying Abaddon black, this is what it should look like. Now taking our brown, we're going to be painting the hilt of his blaster, the holster of his pistol, and any straps that you want to be brown. And since you have the brown out, you can go ahead and take the opportunity to paint his hair brown as well, if that's the color you desire it to be. Alright, so after you're done applying the brown, we're going to be taking our Warhammer Flesh and we're going to be painting all of his grenades. Or plasma grenades, or frag grenades, whatever you want to call them, we're painting it Warhammer Flesh. Alright, so once you're done with Warhammer Flesh, we're going to be taking our Zandri dust, and we're going to be taking them from looking a little bit too much like a mechanicus to an actual person. Now when you're painting the Zandri dust, do take care to be careful around his fingers where he's holding his pistol and his blaster, for we want to keep them based in the lead belcher color. Of course, if you make a mistake, it's an easy fix. Just go back in with some lead belcher paint and clean up any edges you might have messed up. So this is what he should be looking like. He's looking quite handsome and is almost ready, just a few more paints. So next we're going to be going in with our Mephiston Red. And with this red, we are going to be painting all of the edged details on his coat. So all the raised details, the trim of his coat, and even on the creases on his trousers. I chose to paint the creases because I wanted him to have more of a fiery look in the finished product. So here I'm just taking my Mephiston Red and you're gonna see what I mean. So just the trims and the details. When you're doing this, it's best to take a detail brush or the smallest fine tip brush that you have, because it does help when doing little details like this. And we want it to be as neat as possible. The closer to perfection you can get it, the more pleased the Emperor will be. So once we're done putting the Mephiston Red, we're going to go ahead and be taking our Wild Rider Red. We're going to be doing almost the exact same thing, except we're only going to be highlighting the edges and any sharp points that you imagine the light will be reflecting off of. You're also going to want to put it in the creases very lightly. So as you see, I'm just barely touching the brush to the model. I'm getting it in the creases, but not so much to where it overtakes. And of course you can choose to skip the step of applying any of the 3 colors onto the trousers, but I did this because I wanted the fiery effect to the model. So after we're done with that, we're going to be putting some Kislev Flesh, excuse my pronunciation, to bring him a little bit more into the mortal realm. Now you don't need to be as neat on the hands as you were with the Zandri dust, because that will give it a nice variation of color to when we put on a shade. It will highlight the details quite nicely. And if you find it hard painting anything on any of your models, what helps me is pointing the model in awkward directions. So say you have a paint handle, try pointing it downwards if you need to get into a tight corner that's right underneath the model. If you're having trouble getting to a part of the head, try tilting it towards a 45-degree angle in whichever way, and it helps, guys, trust me. It sounds weird, but it helps. So next we're going to be taking our brass scorpion and just painting all the little details and metallic details that we want to bring out, such as his belt buckle, his forearm cover on his right arm, and the details on his shoulder plate that's also on his right arm. And of course the little Man of Imperium symbol. And guys, do excuse my lack of grammar at the moment. I don't know what's going on with me, so just bear with me, please. So here you see me fussing with the brush, trying to get those weird angles that I told you about earlier on. And trust me, guys, it sounds weird, but it helps. Alright, so once you're done applying the brass scorpion, we're going to go in with a little bit of dry brushing. Now I'm going to be using Astorath Red, which is a dry paint produced by Citadel Paints. But if you don't have that specific dry paint, you can go ahead and grab a piece of cardboard, something to absorb extra moisture, take a dab of Mephiston Red or whichever red you prefer, and do circular motions until barely any paint comes off the brush. And you're just going to be painting that all over where you put red. So for me, it will be his coat and trousers. So just go ahead and take your time with this, as dry brushing does take a little bit of time to build up. But once you're satisfied with that, we're going to be moving on to our last step, which is applying Agrex Earthshade. We're just going to be applying this all over the model, making sure to put enough to where it settles in the recesses and brings out all the detail. I find that this works fantastic on pistols, bolters, frags, heavy bolters that are painted in lead belcher. It just looks phenomenal. But once you're done applying the Agrex Earthshade, you are done painting Voidmaster Nitsch. Thank you once again for joining me on Blue Rose Minis. Do like and subscribe and hit the bell notifications. I'm going to try to post every day. And please leave comments down below on what I can improve, what I'm doing wrong, what you guys want to see on my channel in the future.